Welcome back to another episode of Listening Mastery. Today, we're diving deep into the English language and helping you gain more confidence in your speaking. I'm Serena, and joining me today is the fantastic Adam, an English language expert, to guide us on a fun journey of learning how to talk about our families in English. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you, Serena. It's a pleasure to be here. Talking about family is something we all connect with, and I'm excited to share some tips and techniques to help you express your family in English smoothly and confidently.
As you know, many people find it challenging to discuss their families in English, especially beginners. What advice do you have for them to start?
First, don't worry or feel embarrassed. Talking about family is a significant step in your English language learning journey. Here are some tips for beginners. Start with the basics. Begin by learning the fundamental family terms like mother, father, brother, sister, parents, grandparents, siblings, cousins, aunt, and uncle. Then, move on to simple descriptions like old, young, tall, and short. Also, include adjectives like big, small, happy, sad, and funny. Keep it simple. Don't try to construct complex sentences at first. Use short and clear sentences like, I have a big family, or, my father is a doctor. Focus on everyday vocabulary. Learn the words you use daily to describe your family, such as hobbies, interests, and daily routines.
That's a great start, but what about describing the specific relationships between family members? How can listeners use English to do that?
Describing family relationships adds depth to our conversations. We can use phrases like, we are very close, they get along well, or, they are always there for each other. We can also use verbs to describe interactions, such as, we often go out together, or, they love to play games. To add more nuance, try using adverbs like really, extremely, or incredibly to emphasize the strength of the relationship. For example, we are incredibly close.
That's wonderful. But what about different generations in a family? How can we talk about grandparents, grandchildren, aunts, and uncles in English?
Talking about different generations is a crucial part of describing family. We can use phrases like, my grandparents are very old, my cousins are younger than me, or, I have a lot of nieces and nephews. We can also use words like generation, ancestor, and descendant. To make your descriptions more vivid, try sharing anecdotes or memories about your family. For example, my grandfather used to tell us amazing stories about his childhood.
What about extended families? How can we describe relationships with distant relatives?
Extended families are rich with relationships and meanings. We can use phrases like, we have a big family reunion every year, or, we are very close to our cousins. We can also use terms like extended family and distant relatives.
That's great. But what if someone wants to describe a non-traditional family or a blended family?
The English language is very flexible and can describe all kinds of families. We can use phrases like, we are a blended family, or, we are a single-parent family. We can also use terms like stepfather, stepmother, and adopted. To add more depth, we can share personal stories or experiences that highlight the unique aspects of our families. For example, my family is a mix of different cultures, which has made our family gatherings really interesting. Here are some additional tips and phrases. For describing family values and traditions, family is everything to us, we value spending quality time together, we have a strong sense of community. For discussing challenges and triumphs, we've faced our share of challenges, but we've always come out stronger, our family has overcome a lot together. For expressing gratitude, I'm so grateful for my family is my greatest support system.
That's great. What about talking about family activities and traditions? How can English learners express these ideas better?
Learners can go into more detail about their family activities and traditions. For instance, they can describe how they spend their weekends or what special foods they prepare for family gatherings. They can also talk about traditions they've inherited from their ancestors and how these traditions influence their daily lives.
That's fantastic. Can you give us some examples of sentences learners can use to describe their family activities and traditions?
Absolutely. Here are a few examples. Describing an activity: every Friday night, we have a family movie night where we all snuggle up on the couch and watch a movie together. Describing a tradition: in our family, it's tradition to have a big barbecue on the 4th of July. Describing a feeling: I feel really connected to my family when we gather for holidays. It reminds me of my childhood.
What are some common questions we can ask or be asked about our families?
That's a great question. Questions about family are among the most common in everyday English conversations, whether it's casual chat or a job interview. Here are some common questions. General questions. How is your family? Do you have a big family? Where is your family from? What do you like to do with your family? Questions about family members. How many siblings do you have? Are you close to your family? What does your father do for a living? What are your grandparents like? Questions about family events. What do you usually do on holidays? What is your favorite family tradition? Do you celebrate any special family events?
These are really helpful tips. Do you have any additional advice for listeners who want to improve their skills in talking about their families?
Absolutely. Firstly, it's important to practice speaking regularly. Try talking about your family to your friends or even in front of a mirror. Secondly, don't hesitate to use short stories or examples from your life to make the conversation more engaging. Lastly, make sure to learn new vocabulary related to family to expand your vocabulary.
Great advice, Adam. Thank you so much for this valuable information. It's been wonderful having you on the show today.
Thank you, Serena. It's been my pleasure.
And now I'll leave you with a few examples to practice talking about your family.
Example 1. My family is small but happy. I have a mom, a dad, and one sister. My dad is an engineer and my mom is a teacher. My sister is a student. We love to play together in the park on weekends. I love my family very much.
Example 2. I'm very lucky to have such a supportive family. My parents always encourage me to pursue my dreams. My older sister is my role model. She's very intelligent and successful in her studies. We get together every Friday for dinner and to chat about our day. We share many common hobbies, like reading and traveling.
Example 3. I grew up in a large, close-knit family. We always got together to celebrate special occasions, like holidays and family milestones. My grandmother used to tell us wonderful stories about the past, which instilled in us a love of history and heritage. Although we've moved to different cities, we stay in constant contact with each other thanks to modern technology. My family is the foundation of my life, and I'm grateful for every moment I share with them.